I fixed Supergirl. And if you have not seen my full review yet, go watch that too, because that is where I break down everything I think this movie got wrong. This video is the other half. The review is the autopsy. This is the surgery. And no, this is not the same story as my pre-write for Supergirl. A year ago, before the movie came out, I wrote my own pitch for Supergirl based on the little bit we knew at the time. In that version, Kara was a Kryptonian child soldier. Krypton was basically the Viltrum Empire. She killed people. She drank because she was haunted by the things that she had done. And the story was about her realizing she did not have to become the monster her civilization trained her to be. I still like that version, but that is not this video, because now I've seen the actual movie, and the challenge is different. I'm not here to take the movie we got, throw it in the trash, and replace it with a movie I already wanted a year ago. That would be too easy, and honestly, it would be unfair. The goal today is much harder. I'm going to fix the Supergirl movie we actually got. Same basic pieces, Kara is traumatized, Krypto gets hurt, there is a revenge girl, there is a disgusting space raider villain, there is Lobo, there are red suns, yellow suns, weird planets, space bars, and the general shape of a violent cosmic road trip. But this time, those pieces are going to mean something. The biggest problem with Supergirl was not that the idea was unsalvageable. The problem was that the movie had ingredients instead of a story. So my rule for this rewrite is simple. I have to keep the bones of the film, but Kara's trauma has to make sense. Ruthie has to matter. Krim has to feel genuinely dangerous. The Red Sun rules have to be consistent. The chase cannot just reset every 10 minutes. And by the end, Supergirl has to become more than attitude pretending to be character depth. So here's how I would fix Supergirl. First, we change Kara's origin. In the actual movie, Krypton was destroyed 8 years before Kara was even born, which means she did not actually see Krypton die. She grew up in Argo after the disaster. And for me, that immediately weakens the emotional foundation, because the movie wants Kara to feel like someone who survived the end of the world. So let her survive the end of the world. In my version, Kara is alive when Krypton falls. She is young, maybe 5 or 6 years old, too young to understand the politics, too young to understand the science, too young to understand why the adults are panicking, but old enough to remember Argo is a part of Krypton that saves itself. At the last minute, the city activates its dome, the ground tears apart, buildings split, streets collapse, families run, and Kara is inside the protected zone with her parents. But some people are not. Neighbors, teachers, friends, children from her school. People are pounding on the barrier, screaming to be let in, begging. And the leaders of Argo make the decision. They do not open the dome. They cannot. Maybe there's not enough power. Maybe there is not enough oxygen. Maybe opening it would doom everyone inside. Maybe that is true. Maybe it is not. But Kara does not know that. All she knows is that she watched her world end while people she loved were locked outside. She saw it. She remembers the faces. She remembers the sound. She remembers one little girl from her class pressing both hands against the dome, begging Kara to save her as fire swallowed the street behind her. That image never leaves Kara. The adults called it survival, but to Kara, it looked like betrayal. Then we jump forward. Kara grows up inside Argo. For a while, it is peaceful. The survivors tell themselves they are the last hope of Krypton. They build schools, they rebuild culture, they make monuments, they tell their children that sacrifices saved them. But over time, the same cracks return. Political factions form. People argue over who deserved to be saved. People blame the leaders. People blame the scientists. People blame Rael. People blame Zor-El. Some people believe Argo should find a new planet and rebuild Krypton. Others believe Krypton's pride is exactly what doomed them. The city becomes a pressure cooker, and Kara grows up in the middle of it. She is not a child soldier. She is not trained to conquer planets. She is not guilty because she committed atrocities. She is damaged because she has watched people justify impossible choices. She has been caught in the middle of ideological wars between her own father and her uncle. Even her family became political. Even her family became dangerous. So by the time Argo starts tearing itself apart, Kara does not just feel like society can betray her, she feels like blood can betray her too. And then years later, Argo collapses. Not because of one outside villain, not because space raiders magically show up, because the last survivors of Krypton destroy themselves. A civil war breaks out inside the dome. The people who survive the apocalypse cannot survive each other. And now Kara has watched Krypton die twice. Krypton dies once as a planet, then it dies again as a people. That is why she is cynical. That is why she drinks. That is why she does not trust anyone. That is why she hears Clark talk about hope and wants to laugh in his face. Because Kara has seen hope turn into politics, politics turn into fear, fear turn into violence, and violence turn into another graveyard. Before Argo fully falls, her father puts her in a pod. Not as a baby, as a young woman, maybe 20 years old. He tells her the coordinates are locked onto Kal-El's pod trail. He tells her she has family on Earth. He tells her her cousin is out there. And Kara hates it. She does not want another savior. She does not want another symbol. She does not want another person to lose. But the pod launches anyway. It follows the same path Kal-El took years earlier. Only something goes wrong. The pod crashes into the Arctic ice near the Fortress of Solitude, and Kara freezes. Decades pass. Clark grows up, becomes Superman, builds a life, builds hope. Then, only a few years before the events of Superman, Clark discovers the pod. He finds Kara. He frees her. She is technically older than Clark. She was alive before he ever left Krypton. But because she was frozen, she wakes up physically younger than him. Now, when Clark finds her, it is not just, hey, another Kryptonian. It is overwhelming. For Clark, Kara is living history. She knew Krypton. She knew Argo. She knew his parents. She remembers the world he has only seen in fragments. He badgers her with stupid, optimistic questions about how great and enlightened and hopeful Krypton must have been. And for Kara, Clark is almost offensive. He is everything Krypton was not. Kind, patient, hopeful, loved. He was spared the dome, spared the Civil War, spared watching Krypton eat itself twice. So when he reaches out to her, she pushes him away. Not because she hates him, because she loves him. That is the part she would never admit. Kara avoids Clark because she is terrified of needing him. She knows what happens when you need people. They die, they leave, they betray you. Or you betray them first because survival demands it. So she visits Earth sometimes, she leaves Krypto with Clark sometimes, she jokes, she drinks, she acts like she does not care, but she never stays long enough to belong. That is where my version starts. Not with Kara being cool and drunk because that is the vibe, with Kara being drunk because she is terrified that if she ever lets herself be loved, the universe will take that too. Now we get to the present story. Kara is celebrating her 23rd birthday on a planet split between two suns. One side is under a red sun, the other side is under a yellow sun. This is an idea I used in my old pitch, and I'm keeping it here because it solves one of the dumbest problems in the actual movie. In my version, the rules are clear. On the red side, Kara is basically human. Tougher than a normal person maybe, because she has spent years surviving ugly places. But she is not superhuman. She can bleed, she can break, she can die. On the yellow side, she becomes Supergirl. The bar is on the red side, because Kara wants to drink somewhere she can feel pain. She wants to be vulnerable without admitting that that is what she is doing. She is sitting at the bar, getting drunk, pretending she does not care that it is her birthday. Krypto is with her. He is the one piece of home she allows herself to keep around because Krypto does not ask questions. Then the bar fight happens. A huge alien brute starts something. Maybe he is the Minotaur-looking guy from the real movie. Kara mouths off, he hits her, and she goes down hard. Her nose breaks, blood hits the floor. For 1 second, the audience realizes, oh, she can actually die here. The brute comes after her. Kara is not flipping around like a secret kung fu master. She is scared, drunk, powerless, improvising. She throws bottles, she uses tables, she gets slammed through a wall. It is brutal and nasty. She barely escapes into the street. Then she runs. Not heroically, not gracefully. She runs like someone who knows she is about to die. The brute chases her across the horizon line between red and yellow sunlight. The second yellow light touches her skin, everything changes. Her broken nose heals. Her eyes ignite. She stops running, turns around, and now the fight becomes fun. Now she wins. You make the red sun terrifying first, then the yellow sun becomes a release. After the fight, Krypto is poisoned. That stays in the movie, because hurting Krypto is the one thing that can actually drag Kara into a story. But the poison is a deliberate anti-Kryptonian toxin developed from black market Kryptonian science and kryptonite residue made for Superman, who has become infamous throughout the galaxy. And the person responsible is Krim. This time, Krim already knows what Kara is, because they have met before. And this is where the dual timeline begins. Past Kara, present Kara. Every time present Kara reacts badly, we slowly learn why. In the past timeline, shortly after Clark finds her, Kara tries to live in the galaxy. She is not ready for Earth. Clark wants her to stay. She refuses. He tells her she can come home whenever she wants. She laughs it off, because that is what she does. But the word home hurts her, so she leaves. During those missing years, Kara drifts. She takes jobs, bounty work, security work, bar fights, anything that keeps her moving. She meets Lobo during one of those jobs. Not as a friend, not as a found family member, as Lobo, a selfish, violent, profit-driven bounty hunter. But in this version, Lobo has one important trait. He likes when money happens to intersect with doing something decent. He is not noble. He is not secretly a teddy bear. He is not Han Solo with face paint. He is still Lobo. But if he gets paid to punch a monster, and the monster deserves it, even better. Kara first meets him when she is on a Red Sun world and gets caught by one of Krym's men. We do not need to see anything graphic. The fear tells us enough. Kara is powerless, beaten, cornered. She tries to run and he grabs her by her hair, and the man is not treating her like a warrior. He is treating her like prey. That tells us what kind of world Krym has built. Then Lobo shows up, not to save her, to collect a bounty. Before anything happens, Lobo drags him off of her and restrains him. Kara is left shaking, bleeding, humiliated, but alive. Lobo glances at her and says something like, "Don't thank me. I wasn't here for you." But then he pauses, just for half a second. He sees the fear in her face, and instead of making a joke, he tosses her a blade. "Next time, cut first." Then he leaves. That is how Kara first hears the name Krym. After that event, Kara uses the blade and cuts her hair. Not as a trailer moment, quietly. In a dirty mirror, she chops it short, maybe even almost buzzes it, because long hair was part of the girl who still wanted to be seen. And Kara does not want to be seen anymore. She wants to be harder to grab, harder to want, harder to hurt. From there, we return to the present. Krypto is dying. The poison can only be cured with a specific compound connected to Krym's trade network. Kara wants to find Krym, get the cure, and leave. That is her motivation. Not justice, not heroism, not cosmic responsibility. Krypto. Then the girl enters the story. And first of all, in my version, she has a name. Her name is Ruthalia Andress of the Lequain dynasty. Last surviving daughter of a murdered royal bloodline, sworn heir to a house Krym tried to erase. And yes, Kara immediately calls her Ruthie because Kara is not saying all of that every time. At first, Ruthie hates it. She corrects her every single time. "My name is Ruthalia Andress of the Lequain dynasty." And Kara just stares at her and says, "Yeah, Ruthie. But I would also age her up. She is not 13, she is 18. Old enough to make real choices, young enough for Kara to see herself in her. This is not Logan in space. Ruthie is not Kara's adopted daughter. She is Kara's warning sign, a young woman standing at the edge of becoming exactly what Kara became. Her family was murdered by Krym, her house was destroyed, her future was stolen, and she wants revenge. Not justice, revenge. She wants Krym dead by her own hand. Kara sees that and immediately hates her. Not because Ruthie is annoying, because Ruthie is a mirror. Ruthie is Kara before the bottle, before the jokes, before the cynicism became armor. So Kara tries to ditch her. Ruthie refuses. Kara tells her revenge will not fix anything. Ruthie snaps back immediately because she is not some helpless kid asking to be rescued. She has built her entire identity around the idea that killing Krym is the only thing she has left. Ruthie throws it back at her. What would you know about fixing anything? And that lands because the answer is everything. Kara knows exactly what revenge does. She had gotten word that the man who tried to assault her years earlier was back on the streets because Krym paid off the judge. So Kara went to prove to herself that she was strong, not weak. She waited until he was on the Red Sun side so she would not have any advantages. Then she used the blade Lobo gave her and killed him. At first she hesitated, but he sensed it. He started to beat her, so she killed him. And afterward, she felt nothing. No peace, no closure, no resurrection, just silence. That is why she drinks. Not because she is edgy, because she already tried the thing Ruthie wants, and it did not save her. Now, the road trip begins. But this time, it cannot reset. Every encounter has to change the story. First encounter with Krym. Kara is reckless. Ruthie is even more reckless. Krym escapes, but not because the script needs 15 more minutes. He escapes because Kara chooses Krypto over vengeance. Krypto nearly dies. Kara saves the dog. Krym gets away. Second encounter. Ruthie nearly ruins the mission by trying to kill Krym too early. Kara stops her. They fight. Ruthie says Kara is a coward hiding behind morality because she is too broken to feel anything. And the worst part is, when Ruthie says it, Kara hears herself. Kara almost hits her. Almost. Then stops herself. Because she sees herself. Third encounter. Krym captures Ruthie. And now, the nickname stops being funny. Because when Kara says Ruthie now, it is not dismissive anymore. It is fear. Krim's people are not bumbling babysitters, they are raiders, slavers, predators. So when this 18-year-old girl is captured by them, the audience should feel dread, not, oh no, the sidekick got kidnapped again. Dread. Krym does not just want her dead. He wants to humiliate her. He killed her whole family, but to him, that is not enough. He wants the last daughter of the Lequane dynasty alive as a trophy, a prisoner, a symbol, a bride. A final humiliation for the family he erased. She is not safe, and Kara knows it, because Kara has been in that kind of room before. That is when the flashback to Lobo saving her hits. Now Kara's panic makes sense. She is not just chasing Krym because Krypto needs a cure, she is chasing him because she knows exactly what kind of men these are. And for the first time, Ruthie's danger pierces her armor. Kara is terrified, not for herself, for someone else. This is also where Lobo returns. He is hunting someone in Krym's crew. Again, money intersects with a good deed. Kara needs him. Lobo does not care. She offers him something. Maybe access to Krym's black market weapons cache? Maybe a bounty? Maybe a ship? He agrees, but only because there is profit in it. Then, in the rescue, Lobo gets one quiet beat with Kara. He recognizes the situation. He recognizes the fear. He does not comfort her. He is Lobo. But he says, "You froze last time." Kara says, "I was under a red sun then." Lobo says, "No, you froze before he touched you." That cuts, because it is true. And then Kara says, "I am not freezing this time." Kara and Lobo go in. Kara saves Ruthie. Ruthie sees Kara afraid. Not invincible, not sarcastic, afraid. And that changes how she sees her. For the first time, she realizes Kara is not some smug alien lecturing her from above. Kara is a survivor trying to stop her from becoming another survivor who cannot live with herself. They escape, but Krym still gets away with part of the cure. Now we are heading into the final act. Kara, Ruthie, Krypto, and Lobo reach the Twin Sun planet again. Krym chooses the battleground deliberately. He knows Kara's weakness. He lures her to the red side. On the red side, Kara is vulnerable. He is dangerous because he planned for her. We reveal he poisoned Ruthie while in captivity and only cured her after she told him everything she knew about Kara. Krym should not beat Supergirl in a fistfight because he is randomly built different. He should beat her because he knows exactly how to turn her into a mortal woman. The final battle starts on the red side. Kara gets brutalized. Krym taunts her. He tells her everyone is the same. Kryptonians sealed themselves behind domes. Argo tore itself apart. Ruthie will become a killer. Clark will eventually disappoint her. Everyone betrays everyone. Kara has no answer, because part of her believes him. Meanwhile, Ruthie has a chance to kill Krym. She can do it. She has Kara's blade. She has the moment. This is what she wanted, but she sees Kara bleeding, still trying to save her instead of kill him. And something shifts. Ruthie does not forgive Krym. She does not suddenly become pure, but she chooses not to let him be the author of the rest of her life. She drops the blade, not because Krym deserves mercy, because she deserves freedom. Krym lunges at Ruthie. Kara, still powerless, takes the hit. Now the fight crosses toward the yellow side, but Kara is too injured to fly there. Ruthie has to help her. Ruthie is the one who grabs her. Ruthie is the one who refuses to leave her behind. Kara saves Ruthie emotionally. Ruthie saves Kara physically. They drag each other across the horizon line. Krym follows. The yellow sunlight touches Kara. Her wounds begin to heal, but not instantly. Not like a video game health bar. She is still hurt, still exhausted, still bleeding, but now she can stand to her feet. Krym realizes too late that he lost control of the battlefield. Now, Supergirl rises. And this time, when she fights, the action means something. Every punch is not just power. It is release. It is Kara refusing to freeze, refusing to run, refusing to believe every story ends in betrayal. With every punch, we see a memory of everyone who ever made Kara feel powerless. She defeats Krym, and then we reach the most important moment. Krym is beaten. Ruthie is watching. Lobo is watching. Krypto is barely alive. Kara has the sword. The old Kara would kill him. Honestly, the audience might want her to in this moment. The movie has made him disgusting enough that his death would feel satisfying. But that is the trap. Because if Kara kills him here, then what was the whole point? The lesson cannot be, revenge is bad unless the main character does it. So Kara does not kill him. But she also does not give him some fake Marvel speech about how they are better than him. She is not Clark, not yet. She wants to kill him. Her hand is shaking. Her face is full of hatred. She says, "I want this." And Ruthie says, "I know." Not Ruthalia, not the heir, not the dynasty. Ruthie. The name Kara used as a joke has become the name of someone she cannot afford to lose. That is the moment. Not a lecture, recognition. Kara sees Ruthie. Ruthie sees Kara. And Kara drives the sword into the ground beside Krim's head. Not because Krim deserves to live, because Kara and Ruthie deserve to not be chained to him. Lobo is disgusted. "Seriously?" Kara looks at him. "You still want your bounty?" Lobo shrugs. "Alive pays extra." Krim spits blood and starts laughing. "You think prison can hold me?" Lobo grins. "Who said anything about prison?" Then he knocks Krim out with the butt of his hook, chains him to the back of the bike, and drags him away screaming. Kara does not ask where. Ruthie does not ask either. Then Kara uses the cure to save Krypto. Not instantly, not magically, but enough. Krypto wakes up, weak, confused, happy to see her, tail wagging. And for the first time in the movie, Kara breaks a little. Not all the way, just a little. Now we go to the ending. Ruthie does not become Kara's adopted daughter. Again, I do not want to just do Logan. Instead, she chooses to go home and rebuild what Krim destroyed. That is her revenge. Not killing him, living beyond him. Kara watches her leave. Ruthie asks Kara what she will do now. Kara makes a joke. Something like, "Probably drink somewhere a little more reputable this time." Ruthie smiles, but she knows Kara is lying. She says, "You should go home too." Kara says, "I don't have one." Ruthie says, "You sure about that?" And then she leaves. Now Kara is alone with Krypto. She goes back to the bar. The same Red Sun bar from the beginning. The bartender starts pouring her usual. Kara looks at the glass. She wants it. She really wants it. This is not a magic recovery scene. She is still damaged, still traumatized, still Kara Zor-El. But for the first time, she does not take it. She slides the glass away. Then she looks at Krypto and says, "Don't make that face." Krypto makes the face. She sighs, "Fine." And she leaves. Not fixed, but moving. Now we get to the final scene. Clark is at his apartment having a couple's night with Lois. Clark hears knocking. He opens the door. Kara is standing there with Krypto. Short hair, Power Girl short. Bruised, exhausted, trying very hard to look like she does not care. She does not say, "I need help." She does not say, "Can I come home?" Not at first. That would be too vulnerable. Instead, she shrugs and says, "So, is the couch still available or what?" Clark does not hesitate, not even for a second. He just smiles and says, "Always." And that destroys her, because Kara was ready for rejection. She was ready for a lecture. She was ready for disappointment. She was ready for Clark to ask where she had been. She was ready for him to make her earn it. But he does not. He just says yes. And that is the one thing she cannot defend herself against. Her face cracks. She tries to joke. She cannot. She looks away. She tries to breathe. She cannot. Then she breaks. Not pretty, not heroic. She bursts into tears and throws herself into Clark's arms like the little girl who watched people die outside the dome and never stopped hearing them scream. Clark catches her. Krypto presses against both of them, and Clark just holds her. No speech, no lecture, no "I told you so," just family. Then Kara opens her eyes and sees Lois standing there. Not judging, not confused, just understanding. Lois steps forward slowly and puts a hand on Kara's back. Kara stiffens for half a second. Then she lets her hand stay. And that matters too, because this is not just Kara accepting Clark. It is Kara accepting that Earth might have room for her in it. That is the ending. This version is not about Kara becoming Superman. It is not about her becoming perfectly healed. It is not about her suddenly loving Earth. It is about the first moment she chooses to trust someone again. The original movie wanted Kara to be damaged, but it never built the wound. So I built the wound. The original movie wanted Ruthie to be a mirror, but made her forgettable. So I kept the sound of the name, but made it actually work. Ruthalia Andress of the Lequain dynasty. Ruthie, a legacy, a wound, and a reason to matter. The original movie wanted Krim to be disgusting, but treated his threat like a cartoon chase. So I made his world dangerous without needing to turn the movie into full-on exploitation. The original movie wanted Red Sun action, but ignored its own rules. So I made the Red Sun terrifying and the Yellow Sun cathartic. The original movie wanted a revenge theme, but contradicted itself by letting Kara kill the villain and move on. So I made the climax about refusing to let revenge become your identity. The original movie wanted a Guardians of the Galaxy style space adventure. I would make it a space western about trauma, trust, and the terrifying possibility that maybe the last person who loves you will not leave. That is my Supergirl movie. Not my old pre-written pitch. Not Child Soldier Kara, not Evil Krypton, not the version I wanted before I saw the movie. This is me taking the movie we got and trying to take its own ideas and make them work. Kara watched Krypton die. Then she watched Argo die too. Then she decided everyone leaves, everyone betrays you, and needing people is how you get destroyed. But by the end, she learns one tiny terrifying thing. Sometimes the door still opens. Sometimes the answer is still yes. Sometimes home is not the place you lost. Sometimes it is the person who catches you when you finally stop pretending you do not need anyone. That is the movie I wanted. What do you think? Would this version of Supergirl have worked better for you? Would you keep the original movie as it was? Would you go even darker? Or did I somehow make the story even worse? Let me know down in the comments. I've been your host, Dominus Rael. If you enjoyed this rewrite, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help these videos reach more people who are still trying to process how the sleeping dog became the best character in Supergirl. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.